Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Motivation with Mommy's Tea Time, where we empower and inspire moms to manifest the life that they want. I am your host, Ramika Latash, and today we have Andre and Tiffany Harris. They've been together for almost 2 years, apart for 5 years. And now Andre and Tiffany have been locked in happy, healthy, God ordained marriage, loaded with love for 1 year, a true locked and loaded love journey. Andre and Tiffany are the parents of five daughters, one son, and the grandparents of four grandchildren. They reside in Philadelphia and have been intentional about sharing their locked and loaded love journey to show all individuals that it is possible to love again through their podcast and apparel. Locked and Loaded Love, Andre and Tiffany want all individuals to know that they too can experience a lifetime of locked and loaded love. Welcome to the show, y'all.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for
Yeah,
having us.
thank you.
Now, Tiffany is no stranger to the show. She actually was our first episode of Let's Talk Motivation with Mommy's Teatime podcast, which went off with a hitch. She is the highest downloaded episode for Let's Talk Motivation with Mommy's Teatime. She's also one of my coaches, When Women Empower Women's Group. I'm just happy to have her here for February, which is Black History Month, and it is a love month. So I wanted to have Tiffany and Andre on here to end our month with their love story. I'm going to be hearing it for the first time too. So I'm just excited to have them on here. If you guys want to say anything before we get started, do
Yeah.
we
Well,
can right there?
again, we're just happy to be here. Thank you for thinking about us. We appreciate the invitation and we're looking forward to the interview. Do you want to say anything?
I'm just excited to be here. It's early for me, but I think I'm gonna have a good time. And don't put too
Yes,
much pressure on me. I know you said she's the most downloaded, but don't put that much pressure on me. Yeah, I'm just
she
here so I
is
don't get
though.
fined.
She really is. Tiffany is on fire. Today's topic it's going to be it's called From Separation to Celebration. And I made this the topic because what stuck out about Tiffany and Andre is that they were together at one point and then they came back together. So that is why I made that the topic. Um, Before we get started, I just want the audience to know who is Tiffany individually and who is Andre individually.
Yeah,
Okay.
wonderful. So, individually, Tiffany is an award winning international speaker. I'm an author, I'm a two-time co author, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a mindset coach. So, I empower women to shift the way that their minds are set so that they can live the most rewarding life that they were born to live. I also am the founder of a women's community, like Romika mentioned, When Women Empower. It's an international women's membership community, and our mission statement is women empowering women to soar, scale, and succeed. And of course, like you heard earlier, I'm a mother, I am a grandmother. And so, but I tell people above all that Tiffany is an ordinary individual with an extraordinary desire to do God's will. And that is it. That's who I am.
I gotta follow that. Oh my god.
Hey, she be
Yeah,
ready.
I
I
mean,
should let you go
yeah, you
first.
should have let me
I'm
just
sorry.
get mine out the way. But see, she used to
Georgia,
speaking,
I
so
should
you
have
see,
just
she
went
jumped right
first.
in there. Listen, I'm just a simple guy, man. I'm a guy who loves God, loves his family. All that comes first. Everything else is secondary. Aside from that, I am a singer, songwriter, musician. I run a recording studio, an entertainment company, Solid Rockstar Entertainment. I also do photography, videography. I also run a clothing line, Rugged Cross Vintage Tees. They're very well. From the likes of Mary Ty Tribute, a bunch of people, still rocking T-shirts to the day. Did I
Nice.
miss anything?
Massage you getting into?
I'm also getting into the massage world. What
Mm.
was the name? What was the name I came up with? Don't
Healing?
give the name. Yeah,
Oh,
don't
don't
give the
give it
name
name.
yet because
Okay.
it might not
All
be
right.
the name. But
Mhm.
we have a lot going on. But yeah, that's a little bit about myself. It's nothing too special.
Trey is so humble. He's like,
Special.
I'm just a regular
I
old
really
guy.
am.
Blah, blah.
Yeah, I
I'm a
really am.
recording artist. I
Yeah, it's
make
just
t-shirts,
nothing.
but this person, that person.
Just relax. We got an
Major.
hour. We got
That
1 hour.
is major. That is major. I love that
That
he's
is
so
too.
humble though, but that's major. Maybe we can get him to sing a little tune on the show. I don't
I
know.
promise you, I thought that earlier. I said, I wonder if Amika gonna ask him to sing a little tune.
It's
I
too early.
promise you, I think you can get
No, it's too
something done.
early.
All right.
It's too
Maybe
early.
we'll ask him later on in the show. Maybe
Let's
we can
see.
get a
Let's
little.
see. Let's see how it
Maybe we
works.
can
I
get a
knew
little
it.
tune.
I
So
knew he was gonna say it.
what inspired you both to start Lock and Loaded Love podcast and apparel brand? And how has it impacted you guys' relationship?
So first of all, I don't even really know. When God does something like it blows your mind. I don't even know when or how we even came up with it. Do you remember the time, date, how we talked
I don't
about?
remember the time and date, but I remember, we were just very intentional about like just posting our authentic selves and what our vacations, like this little YouTube or TikTok videos, and just showing up in our community, and people would inbox us, right? And the more people inbox him, like,
Yeah.
until you can tell them what they
I
say.
mean, it was saying all kinds of stuff. I actually, every time I got a message, I would screenshot it because I just wanted to save it. It was kind of blowing my mind. But it was people who have kind of given up on relationships.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess we'll get to that at some point because I actually gave up on relationships at a certain point.
Yeah.
But yeah, we would get random messages. Man, you guys are inspiration. I feel like I can love again. I thought I never wanted to get married, but you guys make me feel like it's something that I want to do. So we were getting all kinds of random messages. So yeah,
Well, I love the name. And when I saw Locked and Loaded Love, I got it automatically. First of all, y'all locks is beautiful.
so you can see them.
Thank you.
I'm one of those people that search locks over and over again, and I keep toying with myself. Should I? Should I? Should
Just do it.
I?
Come on over.
Love them. I love them so much. I think a lot of people are scared to go through the beginning stage. Everything is so quick these days. They're just like adding extensions on and make them longer and whatever. And
Right.
if I do it, I really want to go through the journey. Sorry, I had to say that. Like my
Yeah, yeah.
background is cosmetology, so I'm like straight to the hair. But I got locked. I got it. I was like, that is so clever. That is so creative. Um, I don't want to go into like their love story, but um it was sudden for me. I knew Tiffany gay, and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, I'm
Yeah. And that was
shocked.
intentional. That was very intentional. Believe me.
Like she did that. But I'm always excited for couples who find love. I love love. I want everyone to experience love. So I'm like so geeked for a good love story. Um I see on social media all the time how people have given up on love. There's nobody out there. It's slim pickings out here. The men talk about how the women are, the women talk about how the men are, and they just like, look, I'm just going to stay single for the rest of my life. But when we can get a true story, I love how you guys in your bio, you said God ordained marriage. And that's the key. I think that we're picking the wrong people because
Mhm.
some out of desperation just don't want to be alone, just want to have someone, and kind of give up on love. But love is a beautiful thing if you're with the right person. That brings me to my next question is the journey. You guys said that you were separated for 5 years. How did I need to know, like, what happened? How did you guys navigate that time apart? What advice do you have for couples facing similar challenges? So if you can just give us the whole, like, what was the separation thing going on? Because this is just like intriguing.
Yeah. So prior to, so let me just go back to how we met, right? In the church, and he was checking me out on the choir stand and things like that. And even how we got together, it took a couple of years. It wasn't like an immediate thing, right?
Yeah.
So that was all, again, intentional on Andre's part and him just following God and waiting for the right time until God says, now is the time to actually let you see her. Now, a year or two later, go seek her out, right? And so when we got together, that was a time in my life where I had recently ended things with my daughter's father. And so for Andre, getting with him and then getting engaged, and people don't know that not only were we together back then, we were engaged at one point. And so for me,
Oh,
this
so
was
that
my
was
first.
him.
Yes, yeah, we were
Okay, I
engaged.
remember that. Okay, okay. Sorry.
Yep. So no.
That's what he was talking about.
In a good way.
Okay.
So we were engaged back then. It was like 2016, 15,
Yeah.
16, something like that. And we were engaged, and so when you're trying to have these blended families, it takes a lot of work, which I didn't know. I knew that it took work, but this was my first time being in that situation. And so, there was things that I was looking for, things that I expected. And when, I felt like that wasn't happening, I wasn't a good communicator back then. I didn't communicate, right? So I would get in my feelings and I would just react with no conversation. And I'm just like, oh, this is how I feel. This is what I see. I'm out, right? And
Yeah.
back then, I would keep things bottled up, right? I wouldn't share with Andre, and he would try to get me to communicate, and I was very stubborn. I can admit that back then. And so, another situation happened or things happen as far as having a blended family, and I was just like, nope, this is not how I see how it's supposed to be. How I feel is not going the right way, and like
Yeah.
this is, my baby, this is my daughter. I went from one bad situation to this one that has to be, not necessarily perfect, but I had certain expectations and things that I was looking for.
Yeah.
And so I kind of I shut down and I walked away, and I didn't even tell Andre. Like I was gone in my mind and in my heart, and I
Yeah.
never said anything to him. I just was just going through the motions. And then I got to a point where I'm like, nope, I ain't calling no more. I ain't texting no more. Right. And so that's how it ended. And so, after that, I saw him. So, like he said, he's a musician. He sings. He was on our church call one time. And Ramika, when I looked at him, I can see the hurt. And this was years later. I can see the pain because he knew that I went to that church. And I think he even saw me on that Zoom. And
Yeah.
but I could just see it. And everything in me, God was like, you need to apologize to this man.
Yeah.
Right. And so I reached out to him. Now, so by that time, I had already moved on. I was in a new relationship back in like 2018. But I think when I saw him on the Zoom, it might have been like 2019, 2020. But I
Yeah.
still apologized to him. And
Yeah.
I wasn't apologize. I tell people you don't have to apologize for how you feel. I wasn't apologizing for how I felt. Those are my feelings. But I
Yeah.
apologize for my actions and not communicating. At least saying, listen, this is where I'm at. This is how I'm
Yeah.
feeling. It's not working for me. Or even to say, this is how I feel. What can we do to kind of fix this? I was just
Yeah.
out. And so
Yeah.
I apologized to him for that. And so for me, and then so during that separation, like I said, I moved on. And you said something perfect. We pick and we don't allow God to pick. And
Yeah.
that's what I did. And I'm not going to say, unfortunately, I'm going to say fortunately, because had I not gone through what I went through with the last person I was with before Andre, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be sitting here with Andre today. So I had
Yeah.
to go through that. And after I was out of that and Andre and I started talking again, at some point I was like, wow, I miss him. Like, this is what it's supposed to be.
Duh.
Right.
Right?
Like,
Good.
So I ended up being with somebody who was, it was mental abuse. He was a narcissist. It was very unhealthy. I was like, had bad anxiety. I lost Tiffany. I wasn't focused on the things that I should have been focused on. And I ended up getting engaged to that person, right? But I thank God that it did not work out. And so after the guy I was with, prior to Andre, I took some time to myself, like to love on Tiffany, to spend time with God. And we say God ordained because when we got back together, I wasn't looking for anybody. Andre wasn't looking for anybody. It was just really on some friendship, like, hey, how you been? You know, let's keep in touch. And that's it. And so I'll stop right there and I'll let Andre, he can take over.
Yeah,
So
because I was about
yeah,
to say, Andre, she said she saw that look in your eyes that
well, you
hurt.
well,
So
well. Here's the thing about men that women don't understand, right? When you say, I think you said something early on about finding the right one,
yeah,
right? So the problem that women have is it's not your job to find the right one. It's just your job to be ready and prep for the one to find y'all. And I think that's where the mistake comes in on the women's part. For
yeah,
me, I found her. When I
yeah,
came to that church to sing, I sat there and I'm telling you, it's a bunch of I don't want to say that, but it's older saints in the church. It's not really
yeah,
a young, youthful church.
yeah,
So I'm just looking around, like scanning the church to kind of decide what I want to minister. You can't sing certain songs for a certain
right.
crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just looking around for that. And she caught my eye and it was like, it was the strangest feeling. I knew what the feeling was, right? No, I knew what the feeling was,
Yeah.
but wisdom told me, don't pursue it.
Mm.
Just be patient, prep yourself, prepare yourself, and when the time comes, then pursue it.
Yeah.
So I think it's been what, a year or two. We kept coming back for the same service. Yeah. And my guitar player at the time went to the church. He's a minister of music at her church. So I told him one day, I said at a rehearsal, I said, look, it's a young lady at your church, but whatever. But don't tell her. Just tell her she got somebody who's, admiring her. So he told her.
Yeah.
And of course she was checking me out too. So she kind of had an idea it was me. So fast forward, we went to the church. We did, we sang a couple of songs, left the church. I got a Facebook message in my inbox. Oh, I really enjoyed you at the church. Cut it out. How you doing? So that's where it started. And yeah, like she said, we had a blended family. I had my 3 daughters who were young at the time. Her daughter was very young, I think, maybe 5, 6.
Yeah.
Very young. And
Um,
where the clash came in is, like she said, it was just her and her daughter. So her daughter's used to one way of things. I'm used to what I'm doing with my 3 daughters.
right.
And I think that's where the clash came in because, I need everybody, everything has to be the same direction. And
Right.
I think that's where the, discrepancies came in. However, she did dump me. She tried to, she sugared it. She made it sound really nice,
And all
like
night,
Jada
right? She
Pinkett did
dumped
at the
you.
table with Will Smith. Although this is not an entanglement, she dumped me, right? And I'm telling you, I was just like sitting there dumbfounded, like, what? I had to hear it
Yeah.
from somebody else, but whatever. Fast forward, I used to see her, every so often, just kind of driving by and stuff, and
Yeah.
that was kind of strange too. But whatever. I never really. So we fast forward. I was in a situation too, right? I was dating somebody too. Another thing that we have to realize and recognize is when you're not compatible with somebody,
Yeah.
right? I didn't have a bunch of crazy issues in my situation. It was nothing. We was just not compatible,
Yeah.
and I was miserable, and she was,
Mm.
and I just had to get to the point, and I was to the point where I was really depressed in that situation, right? It's
Mm.
like I'm not happy, and if I allow her to kind of decide where we, how far we went, we would have still probably been in a situation miserable and just, so I cut it off. I
Yeah.
woke up one morning, I said, listen, this is not it. I want you to be happy. I'm not a selfish guy. I'm very
Yeah.
unselfish and I got to take care of myself and I want you to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And then I told everybody that knew me that, was rooting for me to be in a relationship, I told them I'm done with relationships. I want to focus on the
Mm.
music,
Yeah.
focus on the things. I know what it's like to be in a relationship, right? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired of giving 2, 3 years of my life and then it's, whatever. Get
Yeah.
too old for that. And then what happened?
When I reached out to you?
Yeah, so then she reached out to me, right? It was some videos.
So when we all were together, like I said, he sings. So I had a lot of videos, and Linda had videos in her iPad. And I
Okay.
just was in her iPad one day, and I came across a video of him singing. And
Yeah.
so I was like, oh, let me just send it to him. And I sent it to him on Instagram. And I was like, hey, just hope all is well. I found this video of you singing. Here you go. And that
Yeah.
was it. He was like, oh, okay, what's up? How you been? Just like a little small talk.
Yeah.
And then he said, and you know what? Don't be a stranger. I was like, oh, okay. And
Mhm.
so from there, we just started like talking through Instagram
Yeah.
every day. And yeah.
Yeah, no phone calls for a
Okay.
long time. No phone calls, just text messages or whatever you call
Okay.
them on Instagram. And
Yeah.
and then she started flirting, started progressing. She started flirting at some point, so I knew.
You wasn't flirting?
No, I was cool. I was cool. I was talking to God, and God said, "Yeah, don't worry about it. She messed up. I'm gonna fix it."
No.
But no, I think at some point I knew. Like I think it never, because even when you go back to the first time I saw her at the church, I don't know, it was just something different. And I think for men, we know.
Yeah.
When God says, when a man finds a wife, he finds a good
That's a good
thing.
thing. Mhm.
That thing is real. Like,
Yeah.
if women would stop and get, out of themselves and allow a man to kind of really find them and pursue them. Like, it's
Yeah.
okay to look nice and be
Yeah.
presentable. Once that man shows interest, or you can show a little interest, but back up. Let him be the pursuer at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
Um, so I think, yeah, I think God just said no. You said you don't want to be in a relationship, but if I leave you to your own devices, you gonna make a mess of your life. So I know
Yeah.
what your desires of your heart is, and I know if I don't send you
She's
back up where she gonna be lost.
Anyway,
All right, I'm
so
sorry.
listen, for y'all who are watching live, I'm coming to a very clear picture of that look that he had when a man knows he's found the right one. So you
Okay.
remember Coming to America? And that
Yes.
scene when Eddie Murphy is in the church and he sees Lisa and
Uh-huh.
he sits up and he's looking just like that. That's
Uh-huh.
exactly how it was. That's that
Yeah.
that that
Yeah.
exact was just like that. And you see they went on and got married, but it was just like that. And
Yeah.
and I saw him looking at me and it was strange. And I looked like, why is this guy looking at me like that? Like I knew it. So when the
Yeah.
elder told me, like, hey, somebody, you got a secret admirer, and he told me who it was, I knew it. It's like I knew it.
Yeah.
But that's the look that he had.
And I had to get myself together.
Mm.
I'm going to stand up here and minister. I'm like, look at her lips. She got them 4 lips and up. I had to. I said, God, you had to help me. I had to go somewhere and get.
Look,
I'm being
I
honest.
love it. I love
Yeah.
it. What's the saying? You let something go, and if it comes back to you,
It's meant to
or
be.
whatever that saying is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. To you, Tiffany. You not realizing what you were doing at the time. I think God's timing is perfect. For whatever reason, you guys needed that separation. I think just listening to your story, it may have been, I don't know. I was going to say Andre needed more time, but I think it was both of you. Because this what happens a lot of times in relationship. They bring the old stuff into the new relationship instead of letting those old things go. Because I heard Tiffany say, like, I've been through this in my relationship and I knew what I wanted. I wasn't going through anything else. I knew exactly what I wanted in my next relationship. But sometimes when you go into those relationships, you like a little harsh, not realizing that person is not the previous person that you were with. And also on top of that, a blended family. I don't know what it's like to be in a blended family, but just hearing other people talk about blended families, that is like the hardest thing. And if you don't have communication, which communication is number one, those relationships seems to always fail. Um, but I love you guys' love story. I love how you guys got together. Just talking about the blended family brings me to the next question is 6 kids, 4 grandchildren.
Oh my God.
how did you guys coming back together saying, look, we tried this the first time. What are we going to do the second time? And how to balance this family life while maintaining a strong connection as a couple.
So, I mean, the difference now is everybody's like a lot older.
Yeah.
Like my girls are pretty much all three of them are in college.
Okay.
London is 14. I mean, she got just a couple of years and she'll be off to college.
Right.
We're gonna have her empty. It's gonna be what we gonna do.
Have
yeah,
fun.
exactly. Play freeze tag, but that's another.
Yeah.
But no, it's a lot different. The only difference now that I would say, just everybody just has their own kind of lives that they live in. Like my daughters have their friends.
Yeah.
They went up to my daughter's college until Monday. So everybody's just kind of moving different. But that's the only difference now. Everybody's a lot older. I think back then, the girls were like really close.
Mm-hmm.
The girls are really close. Not only, as far as, being blended siblings, but, you can tell the difference when back then with you too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But everybody, like my daughter's 2018 and 17. They'll be 21, 19, and 18. They grown.
Yeah,
I don't even know that.
20s,
Yeah, they are in their 20s. One lived in Florida, the other one lived in Jersey. So they grown kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only difference. Everybody's a lot older.
Well, yeah. Well, that takes me back to what I said previously. Timing. Timing is everything. God's perfect time. When did you guys decide, like, okay, we're gonna make this official? Because me on the outside is like, it just was like sudden. Like I said in the beginning, it was like Tiffany Gay, and it was like Tiffany Harris. I was like, oh.
Yep. And we hear that a lot. Like, what? And people would say to me, I did an interview on a radio station like last year, and the host was like, I didn't know you were dating anybody, let alone you pop up and you married.
Yeah.
And so, because we never posted each other this time
Right.
around, we just kept everything to ourselves. And it was 2022 when we reconnected. And like we said, it just kind of started off with small talk. He'd say I was flirting, he was flirting too. Okay, I'm not just gonna be out there flirting by myself, but whatever. But we did that, and we realized, like, wow. And I remember I invited him out to a 90s party. It was in Delaware, and I didn't want to go by myself. I'm like, listen, I don't want you to think I'm asking you out on a date or anything, but I don't want to go by myself. Would you go with me? So he said, what'd you say?
I think I said something like, well, I'm not going if it's not a date.
Right.
But this was after she had been flirting. That was my time to flirt. But go ahead.
Yeah.
So we went to the 90s party, and I just remember laughing and smiling and just being so happy and free. And I hadn't felt like that in years. And I said that to him. We have a video, and I was just goofy and silly, and I can just be myself.
Yeah, dancing
and it was like, and like taking goofy pictures and stuff. I was like, I love this feeling.
But then it seemed like nobody was there. Nobody else was
the other
in.
piece. We were in a room full of people, and it seemed like it was just he and I.
Right.
It was just still kind of first time, and that was the first time. So we talked on the phone for like 2 months or Instagram, and after like 2.5 months, the 90s party was the first time we saw each other in person after 5 years. It seemed like we hadn't missed a beat. Like it was like we had so much fun.
Yeah.
Right.
And so after that, we continued to talk on the phone, and we were just having a conversation. Like, and then April was his birthday. I'm sorry, his birthday is in May, but we went to Wilson's in New Jersey in April. And that's when I think I really knew this is the man. Like, okay, God, I hear what you're saying. And so much so, I went and I bought him 5 gifts and 5 cards for the 5 years that I missed in his life.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. It's all right.
No, let's go clean my glasses.
So I gave it to him. I said, listen, these are 5 cards and 5 gifts because I missed 5 birthdays, and I will never miss a birthday ever again.
And let me say something, because I was still kind of, I was enjoying everything. I was still kind of skeptical, but I think that solidified it right there. Like it's something about somebody humbling themselves, and you know what I mean? Like I think you did it with the initial apology because I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
But that right there like blew me away. It really
Yeah.
did. It
Mhm.
really did. It was, and it was the. We'll talk to you later about it. It was the simplest gift. It's like she knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
It was the
Yeah.
simplest gift. I think one of them was
And he like
pistachios.
little things that he like. It was pistachios. It
Oh,
was like the Ben and Jerry, the
Oh, you don't
cherry
have
little
to tell
ice cream.
everything.
Yeah, just a little
All
bit.
right, go
It
ahead.
was it was the ice cream, but yeah, but the like simple, so very
Yeah,
thoughtful. Like I want you to know I'm paying attention. Like I
yeah.
didn't forget. I know what you like, right? I
Yeah.
know what puts a smile on your face. I know when you watch football, this is what you like to munch on. It was real
Yeah.
simple and just with
Yeah.
like little messages and all the cards. And so that
yeah.
night was like the end of April, and we went out to Wilson, and that
Yeah.
was even the first time in 5 years that we kissed. Right? We was at
Oh,
Wilson's, and he's like, "Did you ask me?" He's like, "Can I get a kiss?"
I think I did, but I felt your spirit want me to ask
Oh,
you.
here we
All
go.
right, go ahead. No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right. So after 5 years, that was the first kiss, at
yeah.
Wilson's. And that night when we were driving home, I don't know, somehow, some way we said, like, you know what? I think he said, I'm off the market, and that was it. And so that was April of 2022. And so we just knew that we wanted to just move. We still wanted to be married. So we
Yeah.
just started to talk. And so now we're like, okay, well, when we gonna get married? When is it gonna be? So we said, is it gonna be January 6th, which
Hmm.
was the day that I sent him that video and say, hey, just send you this video,
Okay.
or would it be April 29th, which was the
Okay.
day we went to Wilson's? And so we prayed about it, and I was in the shower one morning, and I heard God say, "You made this man wait long enough. Don't make him wait any longer."
Yeah.
January 6th. And so
Oh,
that's how January 6th, 2023 is our date that we got married. And so we went through, we didn't tell anybody, we
yeah.
didn't post anything, we did the couples
Yeah.
counseling and everything. We had
Yeah.
a ceremony, just me, him, a pastor, and a witness at a church.
Yeah.
So did I leave anything out?
Uh, that day was just like smooth.
The wedding day.
Yeah, like you would
Yeah.
think, wedding day. I do photography, so it's never on time.
Yeah.
Something's always, you know what I mean. But this day was everything was like a puzzle, and
God
yeah, it was just
ordained.
yeah, it was.
God ordained.
Everything was just smooth.
Yeah. And like even those pictures that people see from us, our wedding day with the flowers and the one you posted on the
Yeah.
intro,
Hmm.
he set up the tripod, his iPhone, what you got, the 13, the
I
14?
got I got the
Yeah, he
latest.
got the latest iPhone. That was it. It was real simple.
I love it. The picture is legendary. Like I love it.
Mm.
It's beautiful. It's not traditional. It screams we did it the way we wanted to do
The
it.
way we want to
Like,
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I didn't even know the story, but that's just seeing the picture. I just was like, oh yeah, they did it. They did it
Yeah.
how they wanted to do it, and it's beautiful. It's
and we
beautiful.
both
I
and
love
we
it.
both had big families.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people was like,
Well,
you ain't telling us. Like,
and
what
we
are you
was writing
doing?
our list.
Yeah, because so what we were going to do is we still wasn't going to get married and then just have like a reception at a later point.
Hmm.
But yeah, but like you said, we did it our way. People
Yeah,
was like, wait,
Yeah.
I didn't know. You didn't tell us. And we like, we ain't tell nobody.
it was
Yeah.
a lot of people
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. It could be like that, especially with family and all. But no, you look beautiful, Tiffany.
Thank you.
I love the story. I love it. I didn't know all the details of the story, but God just told me to contact you guys. And I thank you guys for accepting the invite because people need to hear true love stories. They always hear the ending part, the marriage, the not even the marriage, the wedding. We focus so much on the wedding, and that's not what a marriage is about. The marriage starts after the wedding.
Right.
Um, and I just love how you guys, like I said, did it your way. You didn't do it a traditional way. You guys listened to God. You put God first. And that's the key. Really letting God lead, letting that man find you instead of us trying to find what we think we need, want, or need for us. God knows who we need and what we need. He's already preparing that person for you. You just need to ask God to send that person. And just wait and work on yourself. A lot of times we go into relationships with baggage and we're not healed from a lot of things. So we take our mess and the other partner bring their mess. Now we done brought all our mess together. And we trying to,
Yeah, it's
heal.
messy.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. So then when that fairy tale marriage or wedding that you think it's supposed to be, you getting into your disagreement or your argument, and you divorce. Like, really? We ain't gonna work this thing out. We ain't gonna talk this thing out. It's just like
Mm,
the divorce rate is just so high. It's just like, okay, what happened to like really talking and working this thing out? Like, did you really listen to the vows that you made to God about your marriage? Like, for better or for worse, for richer or poor? Like, soon as the money, that's the number one thing. Soon as the
mm-hmm.
money is low, it's just like, oh, I'm out of here. It's not working. This relationship is not working. And you really have to work through that thing, because sometimes, um, the husband is down, and that wife need to be there to like really support and be the helpmeet for that man until he gets back up, not knock him down while he down. You're supposed to be uplifting, uplifting that
Mhm.
man. So, or vice versa, when that person is sick. A lot of people, when their mate gets sick, really sick and down, they be out.
Right.
It's just, I think we have the wrong definition of what a marriage is and how it's supposed to go. And I love your guys' story. I love your marriage. I wish you guys nothing but the best. I
Appreciate
tell
that.
everybody marriage is good. It's not perfect, but it's my perfect.
That's right.
It's perfect for me. You know what I'm saying? And I love being married. It's been 13 years for me. We've been
Oh,
together for
beautiful.
25
Congratulations.
years. So he's
Wow.
really the only guy that I really know. Been with him for 19. I mean, since I was 19. We have 4 kids together now, and like I said, we've been together since for 25 years. And
That's good.
gonna get
I
married.
love
It'll
that.
be 13 years, and I wouldn't have it no other way. Don't get me wrong. We done had some ups and downs, and we have grown. Look, from 19 to in our 40s, we have been through some things, but it's all good. It's all
That's
good.
right.
All
And
good. That's right.
yeah, and this brings me to, how did you guys do the Locked, Loaded in Love podcast, and what else? Oh, how did you aim um to inspire? Like, what was the whole point of doing the podcast? And what message do you hope to that the individual take from your experience and your insight on how you do your podcast?
Yeah. And that's a great question. And so we've been doing the work and the research and working behind the scenes so that we can officially launch our podcast, right? And so we're going to be launching. It's going to be on StreamYard. It's going to be on YouTube and different platforms. And so one of the big things for me and the message that I want to share with people and this kind of stereotype that I want to break. You ever hear that saying when people say don't spin the block when it comes to relationships and stuff
Yeah,
like that? Like, as long as you're spinning back to the right block, to the
right.
God-ordained block, it will
Yeah,
work, right? Because people say
yeah.
I'm never going back, and I'm.
Go ahead. You ain't never said that. Go
I
ahead.
know. I thought about these questions. I told you.
Uh,
You like that?
I like it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Like, I like it.
Right, like spin well to the right block, the God
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
ordained block, and it can
yeah,
work, right? And like
yeah,
you said, and in between doing the work on yourself, so now you're ready, right? So I
yeah,
said when I got out of that last relationship before I got back with Andre, I had to spend time with God and spend time with Tiffany, and I
yeah,
think that now, I'm a much better communicator. We're still a work in progress. I'm still a work in progress, but I think
yeah,
compared to before, I've
yeah,
done a lot better with communicating and sharing my
yeah,
thoughts and not
yeah,
holding on to things as
yeah,
long. And so with this podcast, we want to tell people too, and it's not just for people with locks, right? It's for all individuals who desire to be locked and loaded into a healthy relationship, loaded with, filled with love. And
yeah,
just to show people, and especially ones who are during their first year of marriage, like this is what we did and this is what has been working for us. So that's my take on it.
I mean, I think it's one of those things that was God given because I still don't remember where it all came from. I like when things happen that way. It's almost like when He gives me songs. I don't know where they come from.
Yeah,
But they'd be amazing when He gets like a computer downloading. So I don't remember where it came from, but I don't know. I think it's gonna help a ton of people. I think even
definitely.
people who are in situations, whether it be a marriage and maybe they're at the end of maybe contemplating the divorce or have you. I
Yeah,
think we can. I think God is going to allow us to bless them to a point where He'll repair that breach as well.
yeah,
Like you said, everybody's so quick to throw a marriage away. Like put that work in. That's the beauty of a marriage.
yep,
And I think you asked me a question the other day about like I forget what it was, but whatever I have to go through, it's that person that you want to go through those things with.
yes,
If it's not the right person, that's when you walk away.
yeah,
But I enjoyed the good, bad, and the ugly
yeah,
because of who I get to go through this stuff with. You understand what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So I
I
think
enjoyed
He's
that.
going to use. Yeah,
Oh,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. No, that was good right there because I was going to say a lot of relationships were over, marriages were over during the pandemic.
Hmm.
And I say to my husband all the time, it's like these people must really didn't like each other because me and my husband, we
Right.
had a good time during the pandemic.
Exactly.
We enjoyed being around each other. Look, we was cooking, we was eating, we was look, I
Right.
gained all the weight that I lost, but we had a good time, even with the
Hmm.
kids or whatever. Like we tried to make the best for the kids or whatever. Like I felt like that gave us another notch in our marriage. But the pandemic really showed some marriages that they don't like their mates because
Right.
before the pandemic, everything was go, go, go. I'm here, I'm going here, I
Hmm.
gotta be here, I'm gotta do this, I gotta do this, I'm working, I'm doing this. And then when it slowed down and you actually had to spend time with that person, a lot of relationships left. And I love you said like I like doing everything with her, the good, the bad,
Oh yeah.
whatever. And that's the same thing with my husband. Like I rather do some people on the outside be like, why y'all do everything together? Why you need to go out and do something, with some friends, or you need to do this, you need to do that. And I'm like, I really enjoy being out with my husband. I really do. I really like doing everything with him. I like
Hmm.
traveling. Look, we've been doing it for a long time. Like I can say that he's my best friend. But people turn their nose up like, oh, y'all always together. When we used to work, when we used to go inside the office, our jobs wasn't that far from each other. We would have lunch together.
Of course.
People would say, y'all have lunch together with every day. Yeah, I don't have lunch with y'all. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
Right.
Just
Right.
like, yes, we really enjoy. So when you can have someone that you really enjoy being with, that I mean, you with the right one. So I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to
No. No.
just
No.
add that because that is key. You
Yeah.
want to enjoy who you're with.
That's right. But
Um,
I think we're going to help those who that's single that has given up on relationships. I think we're
yeah,
going to help those that's in the middle of relationships that's kind of trying to decide should they stay or should they go.
yeah,
And then we don't have degrees in relationships and none of that, but I think you know yeah, I think somebody said whatever, but we're professionals in our situation. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
if we can
that-
tell, it's a testimony at the end of the day. We can testify to everybody else
yeah,
that this is where I was at this point in my life. She was at a point in her life, and then God did what He did. And just believe He can do it for you. And I don't care what the situation is. If you desire to be in that marriage, but
yeah,
it's chaotic, I think that when we get a chance to kind of communicate and talk to the people, I think
yeah.
would be a blessing too. I just
Definitely
really believe
will.
that.
I'm excited for it. It's needed. We really need real raw stories. The good, the bad, the ugly. I mean, we need it all because I think people have the misconception of what a marriage is. Um, and I love the way how you guys did your wedding. It was small. It was just you guys. If we can kind of get back to that, I mean, you spend
Hmm.
all this money
Right.
showing everybody. that you get married and then 15 months later you divorce. You put all that focus on the engagement party, the bachelorette and bachelor party, and then, the wedding, the honeymoon, and you guys probably still living with your parents or still living in an apartment, and you could have
Right.
used that money to, get a house or invest or do some
Yep.
other things. But if we can kind of go back and take our focus off of those things, I think in the wedding industry, I think that's like the new thing that they're moving towards is these like mini
Hmm.
weddings or whatever. And that's how they used to do back in the day. Like they in the house in the dining room with the cake with his family
Yep,
members.
yep.
That's
Because
what
my
And
mom got
those,
married.
me and my mom and dad got
Yeah,
married in the
yeah,
house
you know what
too.
I'm saying? And
Yeah.
those are the marriages that last a life
Hmm. Yeah.
because their focus was different when they started.
And
Um,
here and here's the thing. I was leaving that up to Tiffany.
mhm,
Like, well, yeah, like whatever you want to do. I don't, if you want to, whatever you want to do.
yeah,
I can. I don't need all that extra stuff. You know
yeah,
what I mean? But if that's what you want to do, but so when she came to me and said, "Listen, God said, don't make you wait. This is the date." You know how much I got in the car. I was like, yes, because I don't want all. I don't. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's nice if that's what you want for yourself, but your focus, your main focus, is the marriage. And
Right.
that's where um people are misinformed. And yeah, it's needed. It's needed. I get so sad when I see online and I'm like, oh, they're not together anymore. Oh, I was rooting for them. I really do be rooting for people.
Hmm.
um but you just never know. I feel like if you're not being abused or infidelity or anything like that, and even sometimes people can get through infidelity, I think you just need to stick it out and work through it. Because my thing is, if you can't work through it, then you wasn't really all in from the beginning.
Yeah,
Um,
I believe that. Yeah.
that's what I think. Because I'm like, I tell my husband all the time, like, you stuck with me for like, I don't care. We gonna figure this thing. We gonna figure this
Yeah.
thing out. Like
Mm-hmm.
divorce is not an option. It's not even an
Yeah.
option. We don't even say that word. It's not
I was
even an
just about to
option.
say that. Yep.
Yeah. And what I can say honestly, like I can probably count the like real arguments that me and my husband had through the 25 years that we've been together. And I can definitely say five major like arguments that I can say. And that's good because
Hmm.
that just
Mm-hmm.
shows that our communication level is kind of okay. Because you know we'll say we have to say, and then I'll be mad for a little bit. He may be mad for a little bit, but then in a couple of minutes we be laughing and joking and talking again because we said what we had to say, and now we're moving on. We're not holding on to it, and it's just marriage is a beautiful thing. Um, I enjoyed this conversation with you guys. I love
All right.
Tiffany, and because
Oh, I
she's
love you
married
too.
to Andre, I love Andre too.
Thank you. I
This is my first.
appreciate it.
This is my first time meeting Andre, and um, I love their marriage. And maybe we can hang out sometime, do some
Oh,
married couple
definitely.
Oh,
things.
absolutely. Listen, and then
Yeah,
when we get
and
the podcast up and running, we have to have you and your husband on as one of our guests.
awesome. Yeah,
Oh,
we
for
got some
sure.
Yeah.
stories. Some
Especially with the
stories.
time that you guys put in, man.
Yes.
That's yeah, and yeah, I think it just helped a lot of black families, man. Like really
Yeah,
stick together and really find a way to stick it out. Yeah.
yeah. Because some people on the outside be like, is it really? It ain't really what it is. They acting like, oh, they ain't this. No, no, we really have a good time. Like when Tiffany
Hmm.
say, like, I can giggle, I can laugh, I can be
Mm-hmm.
myself. Like we can crack up. We can, like it could be a room full of people, but we gonna have a good time together, and we don't need nobody else, to
Yeah.
do that. So I got that when she
You
said
don't
that.
need
I'm like,
nobody
yeah,
else. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
in this, I think I'm the goofy one. I'm like, like,
And the social one.
yeah, I'm the goofy one and the social one,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I can be like, hey, this is speaking, we on point. But then I have that other side too, where I just be cracking up and I just say my little corny jokes. I'm always messing
yeah.
with him, and
Yeah.
yeah. And then it's good to be able to just be like that, though. I can still be myself,
Right.
in
Yeah.
this marriage, which is so important. And some people get in these marriages or relationships and they lose their identity. Like, I can
Yeah.
still be Tiffany,
Yeah.
and
I
he
love it.
loves all of it.
So
I
tell
sure
us
do.
how we can follow you guys and stay connected. All you married folks out there, because I'm intrigued. We didn't get to talk about the apparel, the t-shirt.
Oh,
Y'all
yes, our
see the
t-shirts.
t-shirt?
Yeah.
Y'all see them?
They so cute. Look at them. I love it.
Yeah,
I
so
love it.
Andre reached out to somebody and went and got these shirts made or our logo made, and then we went to somebody else and got put on t-shirts. So this is really us, y'all. If y'all wonder, is that really them? Yes, this is us, and it says "Locked and Loaded Love" on here. This is just when this comes in white as well. So we're about to get our hoodies and get Locked and Loaded Love on other things as well, like cups and hats and things like
Yeah.
And
that.
events.
And event, yeah. So we wanted to talk about the event.
Just, I mean, we're gonna have locked and loaded love events, whether it be concerts, especially around like Valentine's Day for couples.
Yeah.
Have some good R&B music where couples can come and enjoy.
Yes.
And just a ton of events. Maybe excursions going out of town and
Yes.
vacation.
Love
But
it.
we're trying to put all that together now. But I think it's important for good solid couples to come together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to find like
Yeah.
good people to hang out with,
And I'm talking
So,
about good couples. I'm talking about couples who value their marriages. I'm not talking about a
yes,
group of guys that we all bring our wives, but we over here doing some old
checking out
shady stuff.
somebody else.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or showing stuff in the phones or talk. No, I'm talking about good, solid people that
Yes,
have integrity and just know that,
absolutely.
you know, God's word and stand on his word as it relates to marriages. So yeah,
Yes, I love
community.
it.
We're gonna build a community.
Yeah. And that's why we also say, locked and loaded love is a lifestyle, it's a love language, right?
Yeah,
And so it's beyond the apparel and the concerts and everything. Like, this is your love language. You're locked and loaded in love. This is your lifestyle. Like you said, you're integral, you're faithful, you're committed, and all that good stuff. And you're
Yeah.
putting
yeah,
God first.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before we go, do you what would you want to leave with the listeners to inspire them? Maybe someone who has given up on love, or someone who's married and is like, I can't do this no more, and just ready to walk away. Like, what do you want to leave them with, to encourage them to maybe to just don't give up, keep going?
I mean, for me, I guess I can speak to the ones who may have given up. I don't know if you're going to say to the ones who are already married, but for me, to the ones who may have given up, and I would just say, wait on God. Just wait on God, because it will definitely be worth the wait, right? And so I'm so glad, I had another situation in between, but I'm so glad that I see now it was worth the wait. And where we are today compared to where we were when we first got together is much better, right?
Yeah,
Because in that season of us not being together, God was preparing both of us for the
yeah,
reunion. So I would just say, wait on God. It'll be worth the wait.
yeah.
Yeah, I would just say to the men, like, it's very important, if you are a Christian and you read the word, God says when a man finds a wife, you found that lady. So now you gotta take care of her. You gotta love her like Christ loved the church.
Yeah,
So in all your hang ups, your downfalls, your mishaps, he still loves you in spite of. And
yeah,
like you said, if there's not any abuse or any, infidelities, find a way to stick that out.
yeah,
Find counseling. It don't have to be deep and spiritual. God created people who can sit down and talk you through some things.
yeah, yeah.
And just find help. I don't think you should throw it away, because you're gonna realize real quick there's nothing out there. I was done.
Mm-hmm,
I probably would have
mm-hmm.
bought another dog before I took another. I'm telling you, I was at
Yeah,
that place. I told
yeah,
God, I told everybody, I'm done with relationships. And then God
yeah,
said, no, you're not.
yeah,
No, you're not. I can't leave you by yourself, because if I do, you're gonna make a mess of your life.
yeah.
Let me give you this. I was like, okay, all right. So yeah, that's all I would say.
I love it, guys. If you stay connected with them, tell them how they can stay connected, so they can follow you for your up and coming launch of the podcast and whatever you guys have coming up. Just let everyone know how we can stay connected.
Oh, you want me to?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead. Go ahead. You know, go ahead.
All right, so you can stay connected with us on Instagram. Our page is Locked and Loaded Love. It is Locked LOCD and Loaded Love. And then we're also on TikTok, Locked and Loaded Love, YouTube, Locked and Loaded Love as well. And then we have our individual pages. So I'm Tiffany Harris on Facebook. I'm Mindset Shift with Tiff on Instagram.
And then you got TikTok, right?
And then Mindset Shift with Tiff on TikTok as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as far as my personal events, I do have a virtual seminar coming up in April. It's presented by Win Women in Power. And it's a Shift Your Mindset and Dream Big virtual seminar on April 27th. And then in September, I'm doing a women's brunch. And it's going to be 100 women in red. So make sure you stay connected so that you can be a part of it. And my Win Women in Power will also open for membership. So reach out to me so you can come and join me and Romika and all the
Yes.
other powerful ladies in the community.
Now
Yeah.
I was about to say that because I've done photography at some of your events. And really, if you're out there and you're looking for a place where you can come and just kind of fellowship with a bunch of great women, like it's really a good place to
Yes.
be. Like
Definitely.
I'm not saying this just because my wife is this is her thing, but I got a chance to watch a bunch of women in a room. There was no gossiping, no cattiness, no the stuff that usually happens.
Yeah.
I mean, even I don't even think nobody was. I mean, if they were checking our shoes, it was like, "Girl, them shoes are nice," but it was no. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it was none of that. The spirit
Yeah.
in that room was great. But yeah, you can find me on Facebook at Andre Harris. I think it's Andre L Harris. Instagram is Dre_58. And then you can get to my other pages from there. I have my band page and some other stuff going on there. I think t-shirts, photography, everything is connected to that page. So yeah,
Yeah. So go
that's it.
ahead and follow them. I'm gonna stay connected. We might be able to get Andre to sing a little tune before we close out of
So
here.
right at the end of
But
the
You
let's.
night,
can't. I
just try. They know.
no,
So
it's not.
they know it's early in the
No,
morning.
but it's not just that. It's not like I just woke up. I've been up all night.
Well, we gonna get him back for something else. We
Yeah,
go
yeah.
we go
I
ahead to
promise
two.
y'all. The next time we come, when we have them on the podcast, I will sing before they come on. Promise y'all.
Awesome. Y'all hear that, right? We got it recorded.
No, I promise. I'll do it.
Okay. All right. So look, we're gonna leave you with the affirmation. Sorry, we gotta go. But we're gonna leave you with the affirmation for the week. Is I am a magnet for love, attracting genuine connection and meaningful relationships in my life with ease and joy. So take that affirmation, write it down, journal it, meditate on it, and really, if you're really looking for real true love, just ask God to help you with that. I want to thank Tiffany and Andre for ending our segment of love this month. They have a beautiful love story. I enjoy talking to them. I can't wait to set something up and hang out with them, with me
Oh
and
yeah.
my husband, because I call my husband husband.
I love it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm just
Don't
looking
say it.
forward to the connection. Thank you guys for listening in to Let's Talk Motivation with Mommy's Tea Time, where we are here every Monday morning at 9 a.m. as we continue to inspire and empower moms to manifest the life that they want. Bye, guys.